Hey, it's Mike. Welcome back to the shop. In this episode of our 250-gallon cooker build, we're going to repair the bung holes, the attachments in the top of the LP tank. So what we're going to do essentially is just make a patch. We're going to cut these holes out. You can see that I've already marked it with a framing square. And I just take a Sharpie, one of the extra fine Sharpies, line it up, and put me some marks. And I make my patch repair as small as I can, so that I'm taking out as little of the material as I can. You can see where I've actually gone across the weld a little bit right there, and that's fine because that hole doesn't go all the way through there, and we'll just grind that little piece of weld off. It'll be fine. Essentially, we're going to make patches to go over that hole out of some rolled material. We'll do that here just a little bit. I'll show you the rolling tool that I made here in the shop in an afternoon to do that. It's real easy to do. You can make those yourself, or you can buy one from someplace like Harbor Freight or something like that. So essentially, we're going to make a patch, which will be a piece of rolled material. This one will be about 1.5, so I'll have to cut it with an angle grinder. That one will be a little narrower than 1, maybe exactly 1, and then of course the same thing here. So let me go ahead and start grinding these out, and we'll get us a nice square hole, and then we'll start making our patches. So I don't know how long that took. It wasn't long at all. I'll look at the clip when I edit it and let you know. So cutting that out was pretty quick, and now we'll move on to making those patches. Okay, so just finishing up the roll process on this piece of patch material, and that's probably going to be it. I've worked my way to it. It takes about 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes to actually get it this far using just a flat bar stock roller. You can get these at Harbor Freight and Orlando or something like that, or make your own. I elected to make my own because I went through a couple of those other ones. They're not as sturdy as you can make. This is just 1/4-inch material, scrap, and I put this thing together in an afternoon. And on the Mystic Smokers website, I've got the instructions on how to make this. It's real easy to do, so you should be able to whip one of those out if you need it to save yourself some money. So let's see how we look with this. And that looks perfect. So I'll go ahead and cut those to length, get them welded up, and we'll measure them out for our patch material. Okay, so the little hole is the exact width of one piece of bar stock, exactly 2 inches. So all I did was hold it up there and put a mark on either side, and we'll draw the line. It's not going to be square because remember I cut it with the the angle grinder. I cut the hole with the angle grinder and I didn't run it exactly square. So just set it up there as a template and it'll be close enough. And that looks pretty darn good. I'm just gonna have to touch this one corner right here. So take my marker, mark the corner. A tad off of this side right here, and the bottom should be pretty good, but just that lower corner looks, that little lower corner right there is where we want to trim this. All right, let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. I can live with that. Now we'll put the bevel, the welding bevel on, and we'll go to welding them up. So that one should be fine. Okay, a couple of quick tips for welding these patches in. I weld them in small stitch welds, and then of course we'll go back and grind over that. And that's so that everything stays cool. I don't want to get a lot of heat in that plate to where when it shrinks back, it'll want to start a crack through there. Next thing is to get them up to the right height. All I do is use my magnets here and just temporarily clamp a couple of straight edges down across the tank, and that way I can just pull the patch up to it and then tack it in the corner. Nothing to it. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's hard to see in the light, getting so darn many reflections, but it's nice and smooth, looks good, and it's going to match the rest of the tank once it gets sandblasted. So I think our patches turned out pretty good. All right, so there it is looking at it from the back side. I think the lighting's a little less offensive looking at it right there. There is this spot down here with a lot of pitting. It's not that deep at all. It would certainly never cause any problem for the tank. It just looks kind of bad. So I think what I'm going to do throughout the tank build is go through here and just put some spot welds here and there every now and then, and eventually by the time I'm done, I'll have it welded over. I'll just do, you know, tiny little spot welds here and there so everything stays nice and cool, and every now and then grind them smooth. So we'll see how that turns out. I may end up putting you know, like a nameplate across there, because that is right where this is where the firebox is going to be. So you know, it's right here. It's not really visible that much. So I had debated cutting that out, but that's a big patch, and I really hate to do that. I think that I can slowly fill that in and grind it smooth where it'll look decent. You can see where I've already put just experimenting, put in a couple of little spots in there. So it's not going to look perfect, but it's going to look a whole lot better than it does now. So real happy with the bung hole repair. That turned out good. They usually do. So the next thing is to go ahead and get the hinges on. So we'll call this episode right here, and I will see you in the hinge episode.